we're basically a family here. Like all of the people who have stayed here and like originally, we're just one giant family. Like I've been bowling with Haley Hepperly ever since I was a little kid, and then bowling with like the older guys like Armando, Ray, even Zachary Haddad. All of the older people. It's basically a really tightly knit community, and we've had problems with other people that come in, and there's always going to be problems with newer people, but we get past it. And then when new people come to bowl here, it takes a little bit for me to adjust to them, just as it would to anybody, but we bring them in, and they basically become part of the family. And there have been like new junior bowlers in the Saturday Scratch League that have come in, and I'm probably the one who's been in that league the longest. And watching people come and go is always sad, but watching new faces come in, when I adjust to them, it becomes pretty relaxed and just like any other day at home. We have like these fundraisers annually, like crab feed, stuff like that, and Dave would ask us if we could serve there. But as for eating out together, not really. I mean, I know I've gone with Dave, like he's taken me to some tournaments before, same with some other families, but I mean, we don't really do much outside, not as much as I'd like to, but I know like some of the junior bowlers I play video games with, like Chase Taylor, Zachary, Florence. We play like League of Legends together, like occasionally. I would constantly push myself to bowl better so that I can beat my younger siblings, to let them know who's boss, basically. Because there was a point in time where my younger brother, Patrick, he's I think 3 years younger than I am, he had been on a roll, and he had come close to bowling a 300 before I did, and if he were to allow that to happen, he wouldn't let me live it down. My youngest brother started bowling, and then my younger sister started bowling, and basically for them to feel good, like they would beat my parents. My dad has kind of been the person that I want to be, and now continuously beat him and consistently do it. Like my average is 215. My younger brother's Patrick, he's at like 200, and then like to get into the Scratch League, your average would have to be above 130, and my little sister is 7 years old, and she's already at that threshold and bowling with us, against us. And if we lose to our little sister, it's not good, because she doesn't let us live it down, and our parents don't let us live it down. So basically we keep each other bowling good. I've done a lot of improving, but I guess the hardest thing for me is throwing the ball in the same exact spot every single time. At Rockland, they had a tournament, which was a junior gold tournament. I had already made it, but they had put a sports shot on the lane. I had never bowled on a sports shot. My younger brother, Patrick, actually went to Chicago this year for junior gold because he had made it, and he hated it. He had the worst time. He was bowling terrible. And so I was optimistic. I thought, no, I could go to the sports shot and do well. Nope. That was some of the worst bowling I have ever done. First two shots, even though they were just practice, went straight into the gutter. And it was just hard, and that's one of the things that I need to improve on is sports shots, whether they're 50 foot or 30 feet, oil patterns. They're really tough, and Dave Bowles, the professional bowler here, has been helping me with that. And then back to Rockland, I had to hit one board consistently, or else like I wouldn't be able to get a strike. If I missed it to the left, then it would go into the head pin and I'd leave a split. If I was even just one board off, it would go to the outside part, like near the gutter, and it wouldn't come back to hit the pocket or anything. And so I had to really focus, and I wasn't used to that because usually here I could just throw the ball anywhere on the right side and have the ball come back and get a strike, but this was just continuously hitting the same mark every single time, and that was extremely difficult.
Now, Jonathan, I just have two more questions for you. One of my last questions, I was wondering if you could tell me, what do you love most about the sport of bowling?
It's one of the only things I'm good at. Video games, I mean, my friends I have some friends that are really, really good, and I play them for fun, and then they harp on me for not being very good. But like for high school, we had a bowling team against the teachers. That was always fun, and people like would always ask me if I was, or like what I like to do, and I would say I'm a bowler, and like they would kind of take a double take at that, like, you bowl? Yeah. And sometimes I'd go bowling with my friends, and then they'd see how good I really am. Like just throwing the ball, like they'd try to copy me, like have the ball go out and then come in, hit the pocket, get a strike. And then they'd try to copy, but then they'd see why I bowl and why I bowl a lot. And it's even interfered with like going out with friends. Like I've only been able to stay up so late so I could go to bed because I'd have to wake up at like 6 in the morning to go out to like Livermore or Pleasanton or somewhere out there to bowl. And it made me sad at times, and there was a time where I had thought about just completely stopping and like not bowling at all because it interfered with so much stuff. But that was like probably one of the biggest choices I had ever made, and I continued to stick with bowling. Friends, they helped, and plus I had friends that would bowl with me. The one that I remember most that still kind of bowls with me is Haley Hepperly. We've been bowling for a pretty long time. And then there have been others that have come and gone, like David Garcia or Forrest Kritzer. I still see them every now and then, but I mean, they helped a lot. And you know, there was always that competition between friends, and like keeping it friendly but also very competitive. And now that I don't see him that much anymore, I've kind of tried to push on past them, but then seeing them bowl at like other places, like for tournaments, like I see how good they've become, and we've all kind of stayed the same, and it's really helped a lot.
Now, Jonathan, my last question of the night. You mentioned, sticking to bowling. Is bowling something that, in your future, if you decide to have a family, that you're going to pass on to your family? And if it's something that you pass on to your kids, or something that you teach to your wife, can you tell me why? Why continue, the legacy of bowling?
It's a great sport. Anybody can do it. You don't have to be experienced to bowl. Anybody could come and bowl. It's just really fun. Even if you don't bowl so well, or if you're just fooling around the entire time. And as for future, I'd like to bowl at a collegiate level, maybe transfer out to East Coast with a bowling scholarship, hopefully. But as for wife and kids, I'd definitely pass it on to them. That would probably be the first thing that I do, is to teach them how to bowl. But as for why, well, every kid needs like a physical sport to do. Just from bowling like 3 games, it's said that like you walk a mile or something like that, and you know, like the physical strength and the hand-eye coordination, everything. It's all really good. And then it can help with other sports. Like for me, it helped with being a goalie, and then also the bowling for like fingertip strength helped me for when because I started rock climbing just recently, and I kind of had to stop because my hands would get completely tore up and calloused and nasty, and my skin finally just all peeled off from rock climbing. But it's really fun, and that's bottom line. It's just really fun, and it's even more fun with others.